let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Oh, flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let's succeed, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 5:30 p.m. Welcome to Eyewitness News live from our studios here at number 11, Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Nanatufo Boateng, and tonight I am here with
Akosia Oche.
Coming up over the next 1 hour, 30 minutes.
It's not because of this project that we incurred losses. I hear you that maybe we could have stopped that project to reduce the losses. But a lot of things, the contractors were still on site and all that, and therefore stopping that, I'm not sure whether it would have been the best. Maybe if it was your house, you could have stopped, and then when things got better, continue on.
Bank of Ghana defends decision to continue with construction of its new head office despite posting losses in 2023. The bank insists works are far advanced and cannot be halted. We'll bring you more on that, but also coming up,
I will be formally petitioning the Office of the Special Prosecutor to look into this scandalous transaction and to
Ministry of Health debunks allegations of $34 million payment to Service Ghana Auto Group Limited for the provision of ambulance spare parts. And later, National Democratic Congress NDC set to officially launch its campaign for the 2024 election in Tamale on Saturday. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on these and other stories on Eyewitness News. But later in business,
Bank of Ghana holds monetary policy rate at 29% for third consecutive time in 2024.
That comes up later with Akosia Oche. Eyewitness News is live across the country on all our affiliates around the country. Let's give you some stations where you can join us and listen to the bulletin. We're live in the Western region on Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, both in Takoradi, including Skypa 93.5 FM. Join us in the Bono regional capital, Sunyane, on Greener 95.9 FM. We're live in Kumasi in the Ashanti region on Orange 107.9 FM. Join us in the Eastern region on Right 90.1 FM in Somanya. You're listening to Holy 98.5 FM in Aflao in the Volta region. This is Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi in the Northern region. Join us in the Upper East region on Word 88.3 FM in Zuarungu. And we're live in the Upper West region on Bugli Radio 88.6 FM in Wa. Akosia has our first story.
Now, the Ministry of Health refutes claims of a $34.9 million payment to Service Ghana Auto Group Limited for spare parts. North Tongue MP Samuel Ablakwa had accused the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and the former Health Minister Kwekwa Juman-Menu of colluding with the company to defraud the state, alleging the former Finance Minister approved the deal just before leaving office. The ministry denies these allegations and expresses willingness to support efforts for further clarification. Here are details of a statement from the Ministry of Health.
On September 10, 2020, the Ministry of Special Development Initiatives signed a contract with Service Auto Group Ghana Limited for the provision of after-sales service and maintenance of 307 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 315 CDI ambulances. The contract stipulated that the supplier shall provide the client with a projected budget for requisite spare parts and lubricants to ensure the smooth servicing and maintenance of the fleet. Since the inception of the contract, the Ministry of Special Development Initiatives has utilized a portion of its annual budget allocation to support the National Ambulance Service and fund the maintenance agreement. Following the dissolution of the Ministry of Special Development Initiatives, the Special Initiative Development Secretariat took over the execution of the contract. On March 10, 2023, the Office of the Chief of Staff requested the Ministry of Health to explore ways to support the National Ambulance Service in maintaining the fleet of ambulances due to Parliament's refusal to approve the budget estimates of the Special Initiative Development Secretariat for the 2023 fiscal year. Subsequently, the Ministry of Health wrote to the Ministry of Finance requesting the establishment of letters of credit for an amount of $34.9 million on behalf of Service Ghana Auto Group Limited for the procurement of spare parts for the 307 units of ambulances. The Ministry of Finance responded indicating it will only fund up to $10 million of the requested amount and recommended that the Ministry of Health explore financing the difference through the National Health Insurance Authority, the NHIA. The NHIA, in correspondence with the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Finance, stated it was unable to fund the cost of the procurement of the spare parts as part of the 10% allocation to the Ministry of Health because this was not captured in the allocation formula approved by Parliament. The Ministry of Health would like to clarify that the service provider, Service Ghana Auto Group Limited, has not been paid an amount of $34.9 million as widely reported. The Ministry of Health is committed to ensuring a sustainable maintenance regime for all fleets procured for the National Ambulance Service to provide reliable, efficient and safe emergency medical services. All documentation covering this transaction is a matter of public record and can be accessed by the public. The Ministry of Health is ready to support any effort that will bring further clarity to this issue in the interest of the public.
My colleague Zoe Abubeido Ado there bringing us details of that statement from the Ministry of Health denying allegations of paying $34 million to a private company for the provision of spare parts.
Let's go over the phone lines and speak to the Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Ablakwa, who made these revelations early on. Good evening, Honourable, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Well, the Ministry of Health has issued this statement. I want to believe you've heard excerpts or seen this statement. First off, what do you make of this?
To be very sincere with you, this is the most hollow, the most porous, the most bogus, the most dishonest, and the most disingenuous statement I have ever come across. Who in Ghana has said $4.9 million has been paid? Who has said that? Who? They are so fond of setting their own questions and proceeding to answer them, deliberately distorting the issues so that they will distract us from the real matters, the gravamen of the issue. Look, we have had enough of the disrespect of the Ghanaian people, the insulting of our intelligence. We've had enough of that. This expose from day one has been about the fact that a $34.9 million contract has been approved. If you read the 9 February 2024 letter signed by Ken Oforiatta to the health minister, which I put out, then there is a second letter which I put out where Ken Oforiatta instructs the Controller and Accountant General to release $10 million out of the $34.9 million. My entire petition to the Office of the Special Prosecutor, if you read the petition, I am asking the Office of the Special Prosecutor to take steps to stop the balance, the payment of the outstanding $24.9 million, which is imminent. So, how can this be about $34.9 million has been paid? And that you are saying $34.9 million has not been paid. Is that the issue? Is that the issue? Who has said in this country that $34.9 million has been paid? No wonder nobody at the ministry could put their name to that statement. Nobody could sign that statement. All you have is PR unit. and people think they can hide behind PR units, faceless groups, and then insult our intelligence. Look, we are in no mood for this disrespect and for this deliberate obfuscation. All the fundamental issues. Why are they still dealing with Service Ghana Auto Group Limited? When the Auditor General, in his damning report published on May 25th, 2022, is saying that this is a company that engages in pure crime, a company that inflates its invoices, a company that, according to the Auditor General, should refund money to Ghana, a company that does not use its own staff, uses staff of the National Ambulance Service, a company that did not exist at the time the ambulances were given to them in January 2020. It didn't exist. The company was incorporated, was came to being, became a legal entity in April of 2020. A company that was engaged for 8 months was being paid money. And if you look at the GIFMIS records, this company was paid 107 million Ghana cedis in 2020 when people were dying from COVID, when we thought that we had financial crisis and everybody's payment was being withheld. This company was being paid promptly and judiciously 107 million. And the Auditor General is saying that there is no value for money. So this is a company that ought to have been blacklisted. This is not a company that you reward with another contract of $34.9 million. And all of these issues, including the fact that these are politically exposed persons. Mr. Stephen Okoro is a business partner of the president's daughters. And we all know the concerns about cronyism, about nepotism, when it comes to corruption. It is, if you read the corruption literature, this is corruption, nepotism, cronyism, politically exposed persons who are peddling influence and who are being given sweetheart deals, who are violating the Public Procurement Act. I mean, a president who said that he will run family and friends, who promised this nation that he will make sure that the era of sole sourcing comes to an end. He even is able to envisage that people will set up companies in 4 months' time. So he gives them ambulances to go and service, and they are paid. These are the fundamental issues that the Ministry of Health does not speak to. They set their own questions, talk about some imaginary payment of $34.9 million. And look, when you come to consider the fact that this $34.9 million that Ken Ofori-Atta signed, it is not contained in the Ministry of Health's budget, neither is it contained in the National Health Insurance Authority's formula for 2024, meaning Parliament has not approved this expenditure. And you know that under the Ghanaian Constitution, you cannot spend money, you cannot dip your hands in the coffers, in the national kitty, without parliamentary approval. So that $10 million they have paid is illegal. The balance they are intending to pay is also illegal. That is why in this whole statement, if you pay regard to paragraph 8, the NHIA is the only institution that is acting legally and sensibly. The ministry statement confirms that the National Health Insurance Authority has told them that this is not contained in their formula, that they are going to have challenges releasing funds for the payment of the balance. And Ken Ofori-Atta ought to have known on what basis, what is the legal justification for instructing the Controller Accountant General to release the $10 million and for instructing NHIA to stand by to pay the balance of $24.9 million. These are the issues that Ghanaians want addressed, not very useless, dishonest statements that is just meant to waste our time and to send everybody else on a wild goose chase.
Oh no, I have 3 quick questions surrounding this. Is it the legitimacy of the company, its ability to provide the service, or the contract sum, which is on a scale which will top the other?
All of them, all of those issues are germane, all of those issues. If you look at the contract sum, $34.9 million divided by 307 ambulances, the government is telling us that they are going to buy spare parts at $113,000 per ambulance, spare parts. Go on the Mercedes-Benz website, Ford website, Toyota website, all ambulance manufacturers. With $113,000, you can get a modern, a fully equipped, state-of-the-art ambulance. This is a total rip-off. So,
but Honorable, if we get new ambulances, then what happens to the existing ones that need repair? Do we fade them out of the system?
Are you not concerned that $113,000 of your money, you're a taxpayer, is going to be used for spare parts? Are you not concerned?
Indeed, I am. But are you suggesting that?
Does it make sense? You have a car. Do you buy spare parts more than the value of the car?
That would make no sense, honestly.
Yes. So it doesn't make sense. So let's not waste our time on things that don't make sense. We are talking about value for money. This transaction doesn't have a value for money audit. There is no value for money report on this transaction. It doesn't make sense. Look, the reason why Kenya happened, the reason why a lot of democracies in Africa are failing is because of things like this. It is because of things like where those in power have no respect, they have no conscience, they have no scruples, they have no threshold. Anything goes. The plunder, the rape just continues unabated. Then let me come to the other issues that you have raised. The credibility of the company is also important. Please, have you read the Auditor General's report? Have you read it? It is online. I will advise you. It is titled Performance Audit on Fleet Management of Ambulances of the National Ambulance Service. It's online. Just download that report. I bet you won't read anything stinkier than that, anything more putrefying than that. It smells to the high heavens. Look, the Auditor General was shocked. A company that did not exist, and yet they were giving the ambulances. They were being paid before a contract. They are asked to refund money. This is the same company that uses our ambulances to carry cement. I mean, look, if these are the companies you reward, and you see, in this country, we all know we've had well-established service auto companies, certified car dealers, authorized representatives of car manufacturers in this country for decades. For decades. Why was this not competitive? Why were the likes of Toyota Ghana, the likes of Silver Star, Hyundai, and Mechanical Lord, and all of them, why were they not given an opportunity to bid? Why? They are existing companies with a track record. Then you call up friends, relatives, familial elements when they haven't even registered a company. Read the Auditor General's report. So all of these things are important, including the fact that this payment that has been made is not contained in the budget. So far, only officials at the Health Insurance Authority, if you read the Ministry of Health statement, are acting within the law. They are the ones rather advising ministers that, hey, let's be careful. This is not approved by Parliament. And we don't want to come along. They clearly don't want to go to jail with the others. And it should have been the other way around. It should have been the Minister for Finance advising. But of course, I mean, how do you expect him to? When he clearly, before he leaves office, wanted to engage in a sweetheart deal for his nieces, their business associates. So this is blatant corruption, classic create, loot, and share. That is what this is about. And in the pursuit of our parliamentary oversight, which is our constitutional mandate, we will not let these things slide. People didn't send us to Parliament to go and drink tea. The whole essence of parliamentary oversight is for checks and balances. It's to make sure that the legislative organ is keeping a check on the executive. That is why Parliament exists. And that is exactly what we are doing, making sure that we pursue our mandate of parliamentary oversight without fear or favor. That is why these Auditor General's reports come to us in Parliament. And the Auditor General and the Ghanaian people expect us that when we see reports of this nature, we must act on it and follow through and make sure that their contents are being respected. If you read the Auditor General's report and you see the management response, They could not challenge any of the findings. Management said that they accept everything and that they will take steps to even review the agreement. And instead of doing that, you are rather pampering this company, even when there is no budgetary allocation. You are finding ways and means. And now, what they have done, if you read paragraph 6 of that statement, they have roped in the chief of staff. That is the chief of staff who asked them to find ways and means. I mean, why does this happen? The only way that they could have legitimized this transaction was to come to Parliament, come for parliamentary approval. They didn't do that.
Honorable, now the Office of the Special Prosecutor has acknowledged receipt of your petition. How soon would you want to see some concrete action on this matter?
Time is of the essence, particularly if you look at the penchant of this administration of paying these dubious transactions. The $10 million, how swiftly it was paid. The finance minister wrote a letter 9 February. By 23rd February, it had been paid, it had been released. So time is of the essence, and we expect the OSP to expedite action. But I can confirm to you this evening that I received a call from the OSP's office today saying that a team is ready to interview me. It gives me the impression that they are expediting action. They want the team to interview me on Monday and to have all of the additional documentation I have on this transaction, which I have indicated my preparedness and my willingness to cooperate with the investigation. So I hope that the OSP will expedite action. Most importantly, I am hoping that the OSP, even before it finalizes its investigation, will instruct that no further payment should be made. Because you see, as we speak now, the $10 million is gone. That one we don't have control over. We can't retrieve it as it is now. But at least the outstanding $24.9 million, we can stop it. We have the power to stop it, to prevent that payment from being made. And I hope that the OSP's office will help us in this regard and injunct, as it were, prevent the officials who are so neck deep and trigger happy to release funds without parliamentary approval. They will at least pull the brakes. The OSP will stop them from going ahead to finalize this deal.
Honorable, thank you. But before I let you go, I want to digress a little and pick your thoughts, if you permit me, on the head office building of the Bank of Ghana. So if you'd be kind enough to hold, we'll listen to the special advisor to the Bank of Ghana, Governor Stephen Opata, who appeared before the Public Accounts Committee today, and then I can pick your thoughts briefly.
Okay.
The other alternative was to stop the project. So, I mean, I see your point in management, but as I explained, a lot of the losses we incurred in 2023 and 2022, we know how they occurred, right? It's not because of this project that we incurred losses. I hear you that maybe we could have stopped that project to reduce the losses. But a lot of things, the contractors were still on site and all that, and therefore stopping that, I'm not sure whether it would have been maybe if it was your house, you could have stopped, and then when things got better, continued. But contractors were on site. This is a project that were way advanced. But I hear you.
Yeah, so I'm relating this to your call for recapitalization.
Okay.
You are investing in these huge projects when you are in crisis.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you are asking for recapitalization. Do you think that if you have stopped these projects, okay, and redirect the funds, will you have been asking for recapitalization?
Yes. So I don't have the numbers for the losses we incurred in. I don't have it in front of me here, but I've seen those numbers many times, and I'm saying to you that most of the losses was because we had to take the residual. We were the residual receiver of the debt restructuring. Okay, we had to take a 50% haircut to save this country, right? So, yeah. Oh well, I wouldn't say we just created debts. Our debts got unsustainable over a period of time. It didn't just happen in one day, right? But I'm saying that the losses we incurred in 2022 was not because of the building. It's because we had to take the residual loss for the entire country so that we didn't end in a very disorderly situation in the country.
That was the special advisor to the Bank of Ghana Governor, Stephen Opata, responding to questions by the Member of Parliament for Bolibamboy, Yusuf Sulemana, during the Public Accounts Committee hearing today. Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, the BOG posted a loss of 10.50 billion cedis for 2023, but paid $82 million to contractors for the project. This is the special advisor of the BOG governor insisting that the project cannot be halted. What is your take on this?
It is so depressing. And when you listen to public officials in this country these days, the level of insensitivity, and this is the regulator. You think that if the central bank was supervising a bank under its watch, and that bank making huge losses, and they were engaged in this kind of conduct, they would not withhold the license. These were the people who were doing financial sector cleanup, talked about the recklessness, mismanagement of banks, and have revoked a lot of licenses. And see their own conduct. See their own conduct. Who watches the watchman? And by the way, let me place on record that the $82 million that you mentioned, that was the original sum approved by the board of the Bank of Ghana. You remember that sometime last year, I intercepted documents which exposed the Bank of Ghana that, contrary to what had been approved, what they budgeted for, which was $81 million, they have gone for variation, multiple variations. The project has ballooned out of control, totally spiraled out of control. And it is now in the region of $222 million, approaching $250 million, the documents that are intercepted. As we speak, the Bank of Ghana has been evading formal requests from Parliament on the cost of the project and confirming the intercepted documents that I have put out. They don't want to confirm it because they are embarrassed about it. They know what they are doing is totally unacceptable. A central bank which is now officially insolvent, which is making huge losses. Is this the time? I mean, the central bank, you are not on the streets. You have a decent office, which you renovated recently. And again, I have put out intercepted documents on how much they have spent on renovation. So why can't this wait? Why can't you just empathize with the people? Show us that as public servants, you are at least sensitive and you respect the people. I mean, look at the pain that Ghanaians have had to go through in the name of financial haircuts, domestic debt exchange, pensioner bondholders. Remember, they had to picket. Senior citizens can get their own savings back to buy their medication. And this is what the managers of our economy, those who are in charge of monetary policy, this is what they are doing. A project which starts in the region of $80 million is now approaching $250 million. Where does this happen? Where does this happen? Elsewhere, the governor will be resigning. They will be held to account for this inflationary costing, the padding of this project, and the sheer insensitivity.
Honorable Ablakwa, thank you so very much. We know you have a busy weekend ahead of you, and we wish you all the best. But thank you so much for your time this evening.
You're most welcome. Thank you, too.
Samuel Ablakwa is the Member of Parliament for North Thong. Let's now take you to the Public Accounts Committee.
Yes, the committee has asked the Ministry of Finance to strengthen its oversight of the upstream petroleum sector to prevent illicit financial inflows. While the government has been actively monitoring the downstream sector, the committee stresses that the upstream sector requires similar attention and resources to ensure comprehensive financial integrity and to prevent illegal activities at all levels. Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, Dr. James Klucha-Veji, says the government must seek expertise to address these illicit activities.
In fact, I have a serious issue that we must consider as a country. In fact, the petroleum sector is one of the sectors that illicit financial flow take place a lot. If we don't have the expertise, that is the area where they can take a lot of money from our country. I wanted to quote figures that he has in his presentation, that this is the money that we are losing as a country through the petroleum sector. If even the downstream, we are getting contractors to monitor, what is the Ministry of Finance doing? This was not GR alone. What is the Ministry of Finance doing to ensure that illicit financial flow don't flourish at the petroleum sector, especially the upstream?
That was the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, Dr. James Klucha-Veji.
You're listening to Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Still ahead, National Democratic Congress NDC set to officially launch its campaign for the 2024 general elections in Tamale on Saturday. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the details.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Are you a builder, contractor, or homeowner with a passion for quality? Look no further. At Yale, we pride ourselves in trusted security and quality hardware for doors. Visit our showroom on 11th Lane Street in Accra, Ghana, and discover the world of Yale door hardware handles and locks. At Yale, we understand your need for security and the desire for elegance. Our products not only protect your loved ones, but also add a touch of sophistication to your home or business. Whether you're renovating your space or crafting a new masterpiece, Yale is your trusted partner with a history of 180 years of innovation. Come on down to Yale today. Experience the perfect blend of security and style with Yale. Yale, where security meets style.
One of the best decisions you can possibly make at the start of your day is to tune in to the Citi Breakfast Show. Insightful, intriguing, intelligent, and informative. The Citi Breakfast Show offers an attractive alternative to the noisy mishmash of morning radio. Tune in to the Citi Breakfast Show for passionate discussions on issues that matter and enjoy interviews where duty bearers and decision makers have their feet held to the fire. The Citi Breakfast Show airs from 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Monday to Friday, only on 97.3 Citi FM.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You welcome back. Let's do some more stories. And the government has laid before Parliament bills seeking to establish 5 universities across the country. All this includes the University of Mampong Bill 2024, University of Engineering and Applied Sciences Bill 2024, University of Engineering and Agricultural Sciences Bill 2024, University of Health, Agriculture and Life Sciences Kintampo Bill 2024, and also the University of Local Governance and Development Bill 2024. Well, let's hear from the Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei-Edochum, providing a brief information on the need for the institutions.
Mr. Speaker, the first one on the list, University of Mampong. It's a combination of Mampong Technical College and a branch of Apia Menka University, which is located at Mampong. Mr. Speaker, the university at Kintampo has been there for years. Health sciences. We believe that given its track record, it can be upgraded into a university. Mr. Speaker, the University of India Applied Sciences out of Akrobia is a Hapo region. There is an opportunity for Hapo region to have a university of its own on a campus with all the requisite infrastructure. We have the Bunso, which is going to be in agricultural sciences, Mr. Speaker. It's also to add value to the stock of universities we have in this country, especially as it applies to enhancing STEM education in the country. So, Mr. Speaker, all these universities with a focus on engineering and health sciences is to add more to the stock of universities we have and to increase our gross tertiary enrollment.
That was Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei-Edochum. Now, the Minority Leader, Dr. Kese Latofosing, expressed concerns about the lack of briefing on the fiscal implications of the bills, considering what he says is the limited time for a change in government.
Oti region and Western North are the 2 regions that are still not having universities. And so if intention is to have a university in every region, then there's a need for us to urgently consider Oti and not Western North as well. Mr. Speaker, the only concern I have is the fact that we are 4 months into the next election, and 5 universities being done. The fiscal implication is not well known, and so in the explanatory note, the minister should have added the fiscal implication to the new universities he intends to establish.
Voice of Dr. Kese Latofosing, in the Minority Leader. Now, a Deputy Attorney General, Alfred Tunya, has supported calls for a review of Ghana's mining laws. Well, according to him, it is important to revise laws concerning the handling of confiscated equipment from illegal miners to ensure appropriate punishments are enforced. While speaking to City News, Alfred Tunya called for the need to strengthen the fight against illegal mining.
Oh yes, there is clamor for the law to be reviewed when it comes to mining. And one of the things that comes more readily is about how we deal with confiscated property when the person has absconded. Because we have it now, before we can even say the court should order forfeiture of any property confiscated, there must be someone who has been arrested and convicted by the court. But there are instances where people will go to the forest, we go to the water bodies, you see the equipment there, they have confiscated, but you cannot find the owners of such equipment. And you can also not sell them. And when you see them, that's why the excavators lying around. So there's a need for us to amend the law so that on the day, if you abscond and that property is actually seized by the security agencies, there must be a procedure to have it confiscated to the state for the use of the state.
You heard from Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tunya Yeboah. Now, the coalition of law associations and the Gadangwe Coalition Against Land Injustice have announced a series of demonstrations beginning Tuesday, July 30, to protest against what they see as the unethical seizure of lands by political entities in the Greater Accra region. Well, the group is particularly concerned about the trade fair land, which includes the areas occupied by the Labadi Beach and La Palm Royal Beach hotels. While they claim original owners have not received the legally required compensation, they also pointed out issues with the prison service lands at Cantonment, where a private developer plans to redevelop the facilities and use part of the land for private business. While speaking to journalists, a spokesperson for the coalition, Jeffrey Tete, expressed frustration over the matter.
We are by this media briefing asking all private developers who have started or intend to start some work on these lands to, as a matter of urgency, halt while the traditional authorities engage with government on the matter. We also call on government to treat our chiefs with the same level of respect it accords to traditional leaders from other parts of the country. It is time for every king, chief, queen, and all other traditional leaders to rally support for the La and Gadangme people in this national fight against land injustice to avert possible replication of same in other places when the lands in Accra have been completely dissipated. It may be asked today, and if you do not support our cry, it may or it would be in your jurisdiction tomorrow. The Coalition of La Associations, that's COLA, and the Gadangme Coalition Against Land Injustice are also announcing by this press briefing a series of demonstrations commencing on Tuesday, July 30th, 2024, to drive home our displeasure and demand the reversal of all affected transactions. The Coalition of La Associations and its Gadangme partners believe that the people of Gadangme, and in particular those from La, have not been treated fairly compared to people from other parts of the country.
Jeffrey Tete speaks for the Coalition of La Associations. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, has urged the government to resist the urge to spend recklessly during election years. His comments come in response to the government's decision to release 1.5 billion cedis to compensate customers whose funds were locked up in defunct fund management companies during the banking sector cleanup. Or in an interview with Citi News, Joe Jackson says paying victims of these defunct companies should not be a priority at this time.
Question has to always be, this is an election year, so the pressures to spend will be, but where is the money going to come from? And even if we could find money under various, is it the best thing for this economy to keep pumping in more cedis, given where inflation is? There are some really difficult and hard decisions to be taken, and I don't envy those who have to take them. But if we don't resist the usual election year binge on spending, we'll be in a very bad place. Inflation has come down, but has come down to 23%, and the effects of the 50% and co in the past are still being felt today. So let nobody think that we are out of the woods yet. So really, there's some hard decisions to take. And I don't know whether those who've lost money should be the top of our priority list at the moment.
Joe Jackson is the Chief Executive of Dalex Finance. Now, the Medical Laboratory Professional Workers Union has expressed frustration over the slow progress of their negotiations with the government. While the union has been in discussions for nearly 2 years, seeking to finalize their conditions of service. Although the union had previously announced a strike to push their demands, they later called it off. While the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Medical Laboratory Scientist, Dr. Eric Kofi-Edu, says the government must swiftly conclude the negotiations.
I checked our records in the hospital. I went to speak with the HR people, and they were telling me in less than a year we have about 90 staff that have left the hospital. So it is at an alarming rate. The country has gotten to, a place, apart from our condition of services that we are fighting for, things are not going as we expect. And so we think that for us to be able to stay, they need to do things better.
That was Dr. Eric Kofi-Edu, Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Medical Laboratory Scientists.
Well, the National Democratic Congress, NDC, tomorrow in the Northern Regional Capital, Tamale, will be officially launching its campaign for the 2024 general elections. We're going live via telephone to speak to the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbande, to get more insight to this launch. Good evening, sir, and thank you for joining us here on Eyewitness News.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Great. Busy day, busy weekend ahead, but we want to believe that all is set.
Thank you very much. I think that basically the ground is set, prepared. We have our operations team on the ground, led by the national organizer and then Professor Joshua Alabi. We are set and ready to receive our regional executives, receive members of the Council of Elders, receive our General Secretary and the National Chairman, who will rally around with the organic support base of the Tamale Metropolis to come and rally around His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in launching the big agenda tomorrow. The big agenda is a statement that begins the liberation of this country from greedy people, very corrupt group of people who have taken over the powers of this country and doing what we call state capture. It is testament of the fact that the president who has promised to protect the public purse is today an entrepreneur with his children in his own government. Ghanaians cannot wait to see this big agenda, seeing the MPP exit power. The current crop of people managing the MPP and government are not mere politicians. They are people who are backed by an incentive to rip off the public from its resources. And we have to stop that.
Right.
To protect the generation.
Mustafa,
Ghanaians are going to support us tomorrow
right.
to make that big agenda. The ground is prepared to have our people who are not in Tamale to follow on all platforms. Media arrangements have been made. Social media arrangements have been made. We invite each and everyone to follow tomorrow's activity, including the MPP,
right,
so that they will follow detailed conversations of how our campaign is going to be launched and what we are going to do to ensure that transparently, December 7th, we are able to take them out of power.
Very well. Kindly run us through the lineup of activities for tomorrow. What is expected to happen?
Yeah, so tomorrow morning from 6 a.m., basically from this night to about 11:30 a.m., and all people are supposed to be gathering. The program officially starts at 12, where we'll be having some selected members of parliament who will speak. Senior leadership of the party, senior appointees will also be speaking. You will be hearing from the national chairman of the NDC also speaking. You would hear a message from the general secretary of the party. And then the running mate, Professor Jenana Opoku Ajiman, would also be speaking. And then to crown it, it's a big statement from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama himself. The program basically is a 3-hour program, but it will leave a high footprint, a record of fire that will be ignited to rally and unite everybody across the rank and file of this party to ensure that we campaign vigorously to win the 2024 election. So basically that is what is going to be happening. We are in the Northern region because Northern region happens to be one of the lifelines of the NDC. In good faith, the record of performance is there. The relationship with the North is there. The truth is that we've had few issues in terms of what we are supposed to be doing to be able to get our brothers to vote for us. We couldn't do that in 2020. All of those errors have been corrected. And tomorrow begins that road where we rekindle each and every one, where we strengthen the support base of the party. Over here, I see the spirit of the NDC in 2008 from the Northern region. I see the spirit of the NDC beyond 2008 to the 1992s in the Northern region. That is what we see here. The love is very organic. The support base is up. Huge traffic in Tamale Township. Everybody wants to participate in the campaign launch. And that is what is actually happening here. An indication that the NDC is in a very comfortable lane to victory. The NDC represents the hope of Ghanaians in the next few months to see a change that will reset this country's destiny, a change that will bring back hope of Ghanaians so that we can together prosper as Ghanaians.
Mustafa, the last time the NDC said it was in a comfortable lead, we all saw the outcome of events. What gives you the assurance that this time it is a done deal for you?
It's a done deal for us because Ghanaians have realized that one of the biggest mistakes they have ever done in their life was to make President Akufo-Addo a president of Ghana. We all know that is fact. You don't need a prophet to tell you that. Again, the change in leadership that have occurred within the party, which transcended across the rank and file of the party, indicates commitment and loyalty, energy being put in place to ensure that hard work will be what will let us win the 2024 election. Hard work and not slogan. Hard work and not deception. Hard work and not complacency. And I know that with what we are doing, the conversation we are having, those campaign tomorrow, the activities that will be rolled out across the country, where we move to the land and look, we are going to be telling Ghanaians atrocities of Akufo-Addo unknown. We are going to be telling Ghanaians everything President Akufo-Addo have done. The wickedness of the MPP against Ghanaians, we will say it all. Alongside, we'll be telling Ghanaians our story of how we intend to bring back this country from the gutter, our story of how we intend to bring back hope to the people of Ghana, our story in terms of how we intend to unite this country around a common purpose of development towards the future.
Mustafa, I was coming to that. I was coming to that because I wanted to find out, after the launch, the expectation is that we hit the grounds running with the campaign. But how different will this campaign be from the Building the Ghana We Want tour that the former president embarked on?
The Building the Ghana We Want tour was for the president to respectfully engage stakeholders, solicit, and also explain to them bit and his vision, what he intends to do, rallying Ghanaians around what the vision is. The vision is very common. The vision is for all Ghanaians to unite, first and foremost, around one government, far away from the divisions and cracks that President Akufo-Addo have thrown into our Ghanaian governance. Two, to tell them what he intends to do as a roadmap to recover this country from where we find ourselves. He has been speaking about that. Beyond that, the campaign itself is going to be retailed. We are going to be meeting people in smaller groups where we will expose the MPP and Akufo-Addo big time, where we will, narrate the content of the wicked, reasonable Ajapadia document prepared by President Akufo-Addo and his brothers to rig this country and to rip it off its resources. We will be telling Ghanaians, and that is how detailed our 2024 campaign is going to be. It's not going to be a campaign of big rallies. We will go to people's rooms and tell them President Akufo-Addo's story. We will do everything possible to narrate all the crimes President Akufo-Addo have committed against the people. We are not here because President Akufo-Addo is incompetent. We are here because President Akufo-Addo just has a motive to punish Ghanaians, a motive to take what belongs to Ghanaians in the name of his family. That is what he has done. And that is what we are going to be doing from tomorrow, door to door, community to community, village to village, town to town, city to city, engaging media, engaging everybody to make sure that we win the election in good faith. We don't have an agenda to steal. We don't have an agenda to rig. You see a government that hasn't performed, a government that is very corrupt. Today, President Akufo-Addo, who said, if you want to make money, go to private sector. He and his children are entrepreneurs in his own government. You see, so what an irony of a president who said that he was going to protect the public purse today.
All
they
right.
have stolen the purse away, and we are looking for police to return the purse.
All right,
we will let
Mustafa.
Ghanaians know all of these things.
Thank you very much. We'll have to leave it here, but we wish you well tomorrow and, of course, the days ahead. Mustafa Gbande is the Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. We'll have you know that the official launch of the NDC's campaign for the 2024 general elections will be live on 97.3 Citi FM and also on Channel 1 television tomorrow from 12:30. And so you'd want to tune into Channel 1 TV and, of course, 97.3 Citi FM for that live coverage of the official launch of the NDC's campaign. Meanwhile, this is Eyewitness News. You'd want to stay with us. When we come back, we'll do business.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel where I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I'll go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Attention, facility management professionals. Get ready for the event of the year, the IFMA Global Africa Conference in Ghana, August 1st and 2nd at the UPSA Auditorium, hosted by the International Facility Management Association's Ghana chapter. This is your chance to meet the world's top FM experts, thought leaders, and innovators. Immerse yourself in groundbreaking keynotes, interactive panels, hands-on workshops, and unmatched networking sessions. Explore the future of facility management in Africa's booming built environments. Don't miss out on the epic gathering of minds and ideas. The IFMA Global Africa Conference, August 1st and 2nd at the UPSA Auditorium. Be there. Proudly sponsored by Fides Group. To register or to sponsor, please call 0558 368 544.
Yeah. We have a new leader in town. OBRNT. Amanfo. Madam was Sibebre. When him say my baby, maybe more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal Pack with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Friday edition of the City Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Akosia Otre. The details now. For the third consecutive time this year, the Bank of Ghana has maintained its monetary policy rate at 29%. Well, this means the rates that commercial banks use as a reference for lending remain steady. Announcing the committee's decision on Friday following its 119th meeting, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison explained that though most of the core inflation measures and inflation expectations are pointing downward, there is a need to remain vigilant on the risks that there is still some uncertainty regarding the macroeconomic indicator.
Fiscal policy implementation so far has been on track and aligned with the program. Staying on the course of fiscal consolidation path for the rest of the year should lock in stability in the overall macroeconomic conditions. On price developments, there is some uncertainty regarding the inflation path for the year, given the recent exchange rate pressures, upward adjustment in utility tariffs, and increases in export fuel prices.
That was the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. Now, mobile money indicators for the month of June 2024 took a nosedive as the total value of mobile money transactions dipped significantly. In addition to the number of mobile money transactions fell for the same period. Well, this is according to data from the Bank of Ghana. But could this be because of intensified calls for scrapping or reduction of the e-levy rate? More in the following report.
During the period under review, the total number of Momo transactions fell to 644 million from 668 million recorded in May. This resulted in a decrease in transaction value from 234.3 billion cedis to 224 billion cedis. In terms of mobile money interoperability, the total transaction value dropped from 2.8 billion cedis to 2.7 billion cedis, while the total number of interoperability transactions declined from 17.7 million to 16.9 million. Additionally, the total transaction value of checks cleared through mobile money decreased from 33.5 billion cedis to 28.2 billion cedis, and the number of such transactions dropped from 494,000 to 418,000. These declines occurred despite an increase in registered and active mobile money accounts. Furthermore, while the number of registered Momo agents increased, the number of active agents fell by approximately 10,000.
Nilati Lati of the Business Desk brought us that report. Now, economic experts are urging the government to tackle the exchange rate challenges as a further depreciation of the cedi could further inflate the country's rising debt levels. Ghana's total debt stock has shot up from the 658 billion cedis recorded in February 2024 to 742 billion cedis, representing a 70.6% of the gross domestic product (GDP). Or the debt stock consists of 452 billion cedis in external debt and 290 billion cedis in domestic debt. The government says this is due to the depreciation of the cedi and continuous disbursements from creditors. Speaking to Citi Business News, economist Professor Peter Kwote called on the government to take steps to mitigate the situation.
If we are borrowing to invest, not in consumption, then that is not a bad thing. Except that we also have to borrow responsibly, be within reasonable threshold. The IMF says it should be 55% debt GDP ratio. We are currently around 70%. I think the problem we're having with the numbers you mentioned has to do with the exchange rate. Because of the exchange rate depreciation, the debt in cedi term has gone up, and that is also a problem that we are facing. So I think we have to try and stabilize the exchange rate. The exchange rate is an anchor to many economic activities. Debt itself is not a bad thing, except that you borrow to invest and also borrow responsibly.
Professor Peter Kwote is an economist. Now, government's announcement of his successful restructuring of external debt with the independent power producers has been described as beneficial for reducing the nation's cumulative debt risk. While delivering the media budget review on Tuesday, July 23, Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam said the government has concluded the external debt restructuring with key energy sector players. While energy analyst Dr. Yusuf Sulemana, while acknowledging the benefits of these restructuring, also raised concerns about the broader issue of debt management.
For a nation, in the sense that it offers a reduction in cumulative debt risk, or a reduced debt risk in terms of the total debt portfolio that a nation has. And also it gives the nation a positive outlook in terms of their debt portfolio. And this is also one of the prerequisites for the IMF tranche payments to be done. So that's a positive thing. Having said that, we have to actually always go and look at the root causes of this debt.
That was energy analyst Dr. Yusuf Sulemana. Finally, Ghana has unveiled the first phase of its 1,000 megawatts rooftop solar project to provide power for companies in the Free Zone Enclave. Well, upon completion, the solar project, which will be the largest solar plant in Africa and the second largest in the world, will pave the way for companies to gain access to the European market. Once operational, it is projected that the solar system will annually produce produce 24,750 megawatts hour of clean, stable, and sustainable electricity. While speaking at the launch of the project, the Minister of State at the Energy Ministry, Herbert Krapper, reaffirmed government's commitment to sustainable initiatives.
For someone who is coming from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, I, more than anyone, understand the impact of the cost of power in industry, in being competitive in manufacturing and in production. What you have done in helping to contribute to power distribution here in this enclave, and of course, because solar over time has reduced costs in the mix.
Minister of State at the Energy Ministry, Herbert Krapper. Well, that's how we wrap up this week's edition of the City Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Akosia Ochidu. Stay with us. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Kojo, I want to learn how to drive.
No problem at all, my dear. I will get Uncle Kofi to teach you. He taught my father and even me.
Bakojo pa, in this day and age.
Don't take chances when it comes to learning how to drive. Your best bet is Freight Masters Driving Institute. Freight Masters Driving Institute has qualified instructors who are dedicated to equipping you with the right skills for the road. Locate our office at Tema Community 5, adjacent Golden Chopsticks, or Tema Community 25 on the Deftraco Estate Road, Asaleboche, in the same building with Fidelity Bank, Westland, Hatchhold, opposite Starbite Shell Filling Station, or on the Spintex Road, Aviation Highway Hydrophone Estate. Call us on 0303 973 388 or 0267 266 211. Visit our website www.freightmastersdriving.com. Freight Masters Driving Institute. Defensive driving with the right skills.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the whole family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Attention, shoppers and textile lovers. The Ghana Revenue Authority introduces the Textile Tax Stamp, effective from July 1st, 2024. This stamp protects your job and livelihood from illicit trading, counterfeiting, and smuggling. This is not a tax. It is just a compliance measure to protect the textiles industry in Ghana. So which products are affected? All African prints, textiles are included. Look out for the green border for domestic products, red border for import, and blue for the transition period. Remember, look for the textile tax stamp when you buy. Protect our local industry and job. For importers and manufacturers, register and get your stamps at your nearest GRA office or online at www.gratextiletaxstamp.com. Please note, it is an offense to display, buy, or sell products without the stamp. Enforcement begins July 1st, 2024. Remember, no stamp, don't buy.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Point blank. Point blank tonight. To Parliament were some members of the minority group. These minority MPs have strongly opposed a report of the Joint Committee of Mines and Energy and Lands and Forestry on an investigation into a clash between small-scale salt miners along the Songo Lagoon Enclave and officials of Electrochem Ghana Limited. Well, this committee in its report recommended that there is no legal or factual basis to review or tinker with the 3 mining leases ratified by Parliament for Electrochem Ghana Limited. Now, debating on the floor of Parliament, this report by the committee, the MPs say the report, if adopted in its current form, will not promote peace in the Ada enclave. So on Point Blank tonight, we're taking you to Parliament to bring you excerpts of that debate.
Salt, I beg to say, is in the same category as gold vested in the president for and on behalf of the good people of Ghana. The same thing may be said of bauxite and the rest of them. And therefore, when we urge upon the indigenes that the salt is not owned by, it's not intended for the entire people of Ghana, it creates a monumental confusion, and people say, oh, this is our means of livelihood. And this is a problem that we are trying to clarify because of what the Constitution says. The same can be said that the bauxite in my backyard, Chebi and Atiwa Ring, does not belong to the Chebi people. With the greatest of respect, it belongs to the whole of the people of Ghana, and it is vested in the president for the benefit of the entire country. When we are able to explain this state of affairs, there will be peace, and then we will have constitutional harmony in the realm. I wouldn't want to detain you too long, but let me go on the recommendations of your joint committee. Right, Honourable Speaker, the committee did not see any need at all to review and or tinker with the 3 mining leases ratified by this august House on the 6th day of November 2020. There was nothing at all to show. There was no illegality that the Parliament previously committed in the ratification. It is imperative that the National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE, should embark upon a massive educational campaign in the salt mining area to bring the indigenous to the realization that salt is a natural mineral and not a means of livelihood in the same category of gold in the Ashanti region, petroleum in the western region, and bauxite in the eastern region. Honourable Speaker, this recommendation is very important. Political players in that space should desist from making political capital out of the use of national assets for the development of the nation Ghana, rather than inciting indigenes to believe they are being robbed by the government of the day. Very important. There should be a serious security arrangement in the communities for them to come to terms with the fact that it is in the best interest of Ghana and the local communities to desist from any form of lawlessness, to pave the way for a national undertaking with export benefits to function at full throttle. Parliament and NCCE should be the arrowheads in this regard. Honourable Speaker, if we care to know, if we give space to salt production, the data is showing that it could rival or even overtake our returns on gold and then cocoa. This is very important. This is where we're going to affect the Gotisbeck economy. Another, mineral is going to bring us a lot of money. And I will share the data with you because we couldn't attach it to this report. We are also informed that somebody lost his life. Numo Polete Agbomeda. We are urging on this house that the police, should go into this matter and bring the perpetrators to book. Honourable Speaker, there was an error with the recommendation number XV, and I want to read it and correct the error. Electrochem Ghana Limited, in the rollout of this immensely significant national project, should not desecrate the Northwest Basin, cemeteries, fetish houses, and places within the concession area.
My heart is filled with so much pain and anger reading this report. If you care to know, I'm from Ada 4. I'm so passionate about this because not only have we lost family members, some of our people are mutilated, disabled, and now cannot do anything. And what is even depressing me more, for such things, such criminal acts to be described as minor criminal acts. When people have been killed, people have been maimed, police and soldiers rounding up people, beating them up at the instigation of a so-called investor, you can't describe it as minor criminal offenses. Minor, when people's lives have been lost. Mr. Speaker, the history of Adan Songo cannot just be described as any of these incidents of mining or natural resource. Mr. Speaker, I'm very sure you know the history of Adan Songo. From the time of the PNDC to NDC government under our illustrious former President Jerry John Rawlings, the concessions that were made in order to bring sanity, peace, and tranquility to the area. We know the problem that came up with the issue of vacuum salt. From vacuum salt to Adan Songo salt, the sort of injection that government made into it in order to restore the industry, and the concessions that were made so that the indigenous people can also have job to do. Today, somebody has just taken over everything, denying the indigenous people the little that they can also harvest, buying for their survival. And when they resist, soldiers and policemen are hired to chase them, beat them up, and even kill them. Our sacred groves are being desecrated, wantonly desecrated, without any recognition of the culture and traditions of the people. So these are not issues that should just be swept under the carpet and allowed to go. If in some areas, chiefs will shut up and allow Galamsey to spoil their rivers and do anything to them without any benefit to the people, we, the people of Adan, will not allow this to continue. Our people need to survive. and one investor cannot appropriate the whole concession to himself and allow the people to go hungry and die. We cannot in this house say we are more intelligent than the PNDC, the NDC, the Mills government, the Kufuor government that look at this issue and settled it in a manner that had maintained peace until this time. We are no wiser than the Kufuor government or the Mills government. Why didn't the people agitate under President Kufuor or under Mills? Why didn't they do that? Were there any killings at that time? No, because there was a peaceful resolution to give the people opportunity to also mine part of the concession so they can have livelihood. Today, what is happening? Even when you attempt going anywhere near that land, brutalities are vested on you. Why? Are the people that they are not human beings? We cannot, if everybody in this house will accept this report, Mr. Speaker, I want to register my opposition to this report. And I want it reflected in the hazard that one time was somebody, a member of this house, called Neil Antivanapoi, was against this report. I totally disagree with this report. Mr. Speaker, under the agreement, I'm happy the report itself is saying that the concession meant for the people should be looked at. The investor has totally appropriated the whole concession to himself. And that's the only cry of the people, that they can also mine and have a concession, that they can also get something for themselves and to pay their children's school fees and live as human beings. And this, they've been denied. Mr. Speaker, I also want to say here, no political pundit is agitating or inciting any group of people. The people of Adan know what is good for them. The people of Adan do not wait for any of us here, either the MP, Doyo, the MP for Adan, or me, Neil Antivanapoi, to incite them to resist an oppressor's rule. Resisting oppressor's rule is expressed in our national anthem. They know what is right for them. Adan people are also intellectuals. They know their left from their right. And none of us here has ever incited anybody. If there is any group of people who are inciting the people of Adan to resist this oppressor's rule, it is the Electrocamp people. Because Adan people cannot continue to be treated as if they are living in another planet where soldiers and policemen are always around them, harassing them. They are human beings. Their liberties and freedoms must be respected. Mr. Speaker, I urge this House to shelve this report and let us as a House look at it very well, because, Mr. Speaker, consultations are done before policy decisions are taken. You don't take a policy decision when it has backfired and people have resisted, then you say you are going to do consultations and stakeholder meetings. Stakeholder meetings and consultations are done. If you've done what we call decision making, you know that you do stakeholder consultations, you go into black box and everything before you take a decision. If we are certain by this report that we have not done enough stakeholder consultations, let's share this report, see and make sure that the right thing has been done, so that the people there will be at peace with the investor. We don't say that the resource should not be mined, the resource should not be developed for the interest of the state, but we are saying that the resource. Yesterday, I heard our colleague, the Honourable Member of Parliament for Menchia North, is it the Ranimate? Is it Menchia North or South? Menchia South, telling the people, the chiefs and people of Nungwa, that they should rise up and fight for what belongs to them. Our Ranimate. He stood the people of Nungwa. So, if we don't do the appropriate stakeholder consultations for the people of Adam to appreciate what is being brought to them so that they can cooperate with the investor so that we can all live in peace. They are running it. I wanted to say our Nkrumah. So then, Mr. Speaker, there won't be peace because the people will continue to resist an oppressor's rule.
I really don't accept the report to be taken, with your permission, with the following reasons as I have them here. One of the major points of the reference point for the committee is to visit the site, navigate themselves with the area and interact with the people to be sure that they really understand what the whole situation is about. But that has not been done. According to the recommendation, they would like to do that later on. But if you have presented your report already, before going to check on all that, and your finding is saying that maybe the otherwise, what will you do? So this is one of the reasons. Two, as a member of Parliament for the area, my input, I was asked to make an input with concerning the situation there. I presented a paper for which I expected that it would be part of those that they use for whatever has been done. But unfortunately, when I checked all those whose paper they received, my paper was not taken. Well, I was not mentioned. That means they did not look at it at all. They did not see it. And it's unfortunate because I made strong points for my people, for which I expected that my paper should be acknowledged as one of those that they received, for which they use for whatever discussions they did. But unfortunately, my paper was not acknowledged, and I found that very outrageous or strange. Three, I want to add more, that's right. Three said, Mr. Speaker, I also find it difficult to understand why over 3 good years, Electrocab is unable to compensate business and men who bought shops before he took over. He agreed that he would compensate them so that they could continue with their business, but now they managed to do some for some, but not all. And if you imagine people who use all their money to buy stock at a point, and then now 3 years you have not paid them the money to continue with their business, what will be their situation? So this is also one of the facts that when I read the report, it was missing. Rather, they were talking about compensation for those that were hurt and those that police meted brutalities to. So I felt this is also a point that they could have presented this report without it. And also the major concern of the people is not about the Electrocab company not taking part or having to do his work there. But it has to do, the question is 41,000 acres of land to one company. The people are wondering, how is it going to work on all this land? Why can't we sublet it, let different companies come in so that we can have competition? There is going to be a monopoly, and with that, we cannot really achieve the best, the maximum. And so far, as a member of Parliament and with the brutalities concerning the police and even the Electrocab company, when I go around, you can see that they are only concentrating on the already existed project area, which is called Songo Salt. So the people are not against the Electrocab's presence there. Myself, I'm for the Electrocab. But the manner in which things are going is in fact a bit of concern. And if we could address those issues, we can have Electrocab working there peacefully, for which the government will benefit, my people will also benefit, and myself, I will also benefit. So, Mr. Speaker, I would really like us to don't rush into conclusion. We can take this. I would appeal to your state, if you could accept we only did 2 engagements with the people without even going there. So if you could give the committee some time to go back to the drawing board so that we take our time to bring a report which will really bring a permanent solution. As it is, as a member of Parliament for the good people of Adnan, when we go on with this, we will still not have our peace. But I want the company to exist and work there. But let's go about things the manner in which the people also accept. There hasn't been enough stakeholder consultations, and that has led to all this. And from the joint committee, I'm sorry, couldn't also, I will go back to the press and engage people who could have been contacted before coming out of the report. I'm not against the report entirely, but I wish it could have been done in a different way, a bit of what we have now. So with all respect to your seat, if this report could be, all committee could be extended with time to do more work so that we will really look at it.
Some members of parliament debating a report of a joint committee of mines and energy and lands and forestry on an investigation into a clash between small-scale salt miners along the Songo Lagoon. This clash was between these miners and officials of Electrochem Ghana Limited. Our show for tonight. My name is Nanatufo Boateng. I did this with Akusia Ochre. Show produced by Kobna Wilson, Samiri Afe, Bevlin London. Technical support from Emmanuel Latte. And of course, social media by Edwin Kwao Kofi. When we leave here, the boys will be in the studio. There's a lot to chew on in the world of sports. The Paralympics opening ceremony ongoing. And of course, interesting developments in the world of sports. The most riveting sports show on radio, Sports Panorama, is next. Stay tuned and have a good evening.